Good morning, Janice.
Hi, good morning.
Morning. Good morning to all the people watching on the live stream and watching on the replay. We have a special discussion this morning. If you want to join, our topic is about mommy trends 2021 with Christine Dychiao of Spark Joy Philippines and Janice Villanueva of Mommy Mundo. So we're having this discussion on what's happening ba with moms this 2021. And I know we celebrated Mother's Day recently, and May is dedicated to all the moms. Of course, habol pa tayo. So, you wanted to join. We're talking about mommy trends. My name is Antonio, founder of our awesome planet. And we're here with Christine
Sorry.
Dichao and Janice Villanueva.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. So I'll introduce you guys, girls first, no, the different moms. So we'll introduce Christine Dichao first. So Christine Dichao is the founder of Spark Joy Philippines and is one of the early few who did a top to bottom overhaul of her household using the KonMari method. This was really popular even before the pandemic, di ba? After
Yes. Yes.
successfully con-marrying her home, she started helping her friends with sparking joy. In 2017, Christine traveled to New York to train and became the Philippines' first certified KonMari consultant. Wow, congratulations. Learn from Christine Dichao as she opens the first segment of Expo Mom 2021 this coming weekend on May 29, 10 a.m. Is this the first, ano ba? This is the first
After
keynote
after the opening, we
after
have
the
we
opening.
have 10. Yeah.
So Christine will talk about mindful consumption and making smart choices for the planet. Find out how we can build on, develop, or change our shopping habits in order to make better buying choices, not just for ourselves, but for the planet we call home. Learn this and more at the upcoming Expo Mom 2021 on May 29 to 30. This event is free and open to all the Mommy Mundo Facebook page live. So don't miss it. So it's free. Good morning, Christine. Maybe can you tell us more about what's happening with the, KonMari Sparking Joy throughout this pandemic? What happened?
Good morning, Anton. So the great thing about what happened was people have become more conscious about their life choices because they realized, wow, life is short. We have to fill it with joy, and we shouldn't really hang on to things that we no longer need because we need the space. We need the space for our work from home space and online distance learning space for the kids, or just more space for the family because we're all spending more time at home. So now people realize the importance of making their home a sanctuary.
Yes, I'm so excited to learn more, no, on what happened. What are the trends this 2021? But we'll introduce Janice first for you guys. So Janice naman is a very dear friend for a long time. As a first-time mom herself years ago,
Many years
Janice.
ago.
Many years ago, Janice found that there was a need for a reliable resource for information for all things motherhood in the country. So, with fellow mom advocates back then, Janice started gathering for learning and support. And this eventually became the origins of what Mommy Mundo is today. For the past 20 years, wow, 20 years na mala, Mommy Mundo has tried to be a welcoming and trusted resource for moms. And with almost 300 total events to date, wow, OG of mommy events, brought thousands of moms with dads and kids together through workshops, events, conferences, and has continued to do so today. Together with Mommy Mundo's team, and partners, Janice continues to pursue even more dreams for Mommy Mundo and more venues for mom empowerment, not just in the country, but even around the world. Yes, and streaming live in Canada. For this year's Expo Mom, she thought of the theme Mindful Choices, which challenges us all to be more intentional about life and the choices we make, including our more conscious consumption in every aspect of our lives as moms. So before we start our mommy trends discussion. Maybe Janice, can you tell us more about Expo Mom this coming weekend?
Yeah, thank you, Anton. I call Anton Kuya Anton even if I'm older. Hi, Kuya Anton. Thank you for having me again
Hi, Ate
here.
Jay.
And thank you for always supporting Mommy Mundo. It's because OAP started off as a daddy blog, in case some of your followers don't know. And that's why I always connect with you. And we really are, I mean, seeing you with your kids, diba? It's like you're an active dad. And so is Rach as well, an active mom. So thank you for having me. And we are actually on our 13th year of Expo Mom this year. And
Wow.
it used to be on ground, as you might know. But we're also blessed to actually hold it online because we're able to reach more people. And it's easier for the speakers like Tin, who's also really
Yes.
busy. I mean, it's easier to have them, they just come online and join us, and easier for them to share whatever they know with our community. So Expo Mom is online this weekend. We decided to make it a free event. We're happy
Yes.
that with the support of our sponsors, we're able to do that. So we're also very thankful. And the goal is really to change perspectives about the choices we make in our lives, especially with what we went through in 2020. We realized that we don't need much. We don't need all the meetings. We don't need all these stuff, and I just thought that it was a very appropriate time to learn from the experts like Ten, and also from people who have experience and knowledge about how to make more mindful choices. And so that we can all learn together and grow together as well, especially that life is really changing. Of course, there's going to be things that stay the same, but also for the sake of our own children, we have to be more intentional in all the ways that we live life. So it's 2 days of talks, and we have 24 speakers to talk about different topics. And actually, Anton, I want to say that the reason why I invited Tin to join us, you asked me to invite someone, and
Yes.
really the first person I thought of, because besides being our speakers, because the first time I heard of the term conscious consumption was from her. So Tin's been my friend for many years as well. And she still is naman a fashion lover. But I saw her shift and grow into her new role of helping people spark joy, be more intentional. And yun nga, parang she brought it a step forward in talking about being conscious about what we consume.
Yes.
So that's happy she made it to join us.
Yeah. And I know Christine from Manila Fashion Observer.
Yeah.
so it will be interesting to know this KonMari thing. So let's talk about what's happening in 2021, particularly for moms. No, who wants to start? Maybe ang gawin na lang natin, it's a discussion. It's really a discussion on what's happening with moms, and maybe who wants to go for, Janice or Christine?
I'd like to start first because we have data. Like, we actually launched a survey. If you don't mind,
Yes,
I
go.
want to share that because we had a survey launched in March. Me and my team, we wanted to do a deep dive into the psyche of moms because our worlds were like shaken. And we were in shock for a few weeks and months, that first few weeks of the pandemic, of the lockdown. And we went through a lot. So we launched a survey and we targeted 500 moms to fill out the survey. It was a very long one, an extensive survey wherein you have to sit down for 30 minutes. And for moms, that's not easy. So we were so worried that people wouldn't do it. But we had 1,700 moms fill up the survey. So we have a good grasp of
Wow,
what...
ang dami nun ah.
Ang dami, from nationwide. So we had a good, it's a really nice picture of what moms are going through. And two of the things that came out, well, at least with shopping, which is the data that we're revealing this month, because we're revealing data throughout the year. But this month, we found out that moms really shifted to online shopping. Like, I think the data was 66% shifted to online shopping, and 86% actually shop based on reviews. Like, they make intelligent choices, like they research, and a lot of the reviews they look at are online reviews more than, of course, than brand pages and all that. So it's really important to note that, because especially us, we are content providers.
Yes.
So we have to be responsible. Well, we are responsible about our content. And also another thing that we learned was that moms, even if they practice self-care, moms are very conscious now about self-care and that they have to have me time and things like that. But when you ask about their shopping, they will still buy for their kids first. So that's, I don't know, maybe we can ask Tin about that later also, na if she noticed that with her clients and all. But
Oo.
yeah.
Pero yung shopping, may question ako sa shopping. So, hindi ba, is it the same enjoyment that moms would see, going out the
Online.
house and going online? Yeah. Oo.
I think it came out also in the survey that while they enjoy going to the stores and browsing through the shelves, they also have now enjoyed online shopping. Mainly because I think moms have very limited time. Like even our events, it takes a lot of effort for them to leave their homes, bring the kids, and you have to pack up all the bags and put them in the car. it's like a it's like a whole show that they have to plan just to get out of the house. So
Oo.
I think people have learned to appreciate the experience of online shopping.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I think this year, like si Rach nga,
Yeah.
yeah, yon. Online shopping na kami halos din lahat.
Mabait
Pero
ba
yun
si
lang,
Rich?
you
Mabait.
have to you have to compare everything. Parang she had to compare everything, no? All the price.
Yeah.
And all the discount, parang mga discount
Yeah.
coupons. Nakakagulo kasi, di ba? Minsan iba-iba yung price
Yeah.
online. So,
Actually, maybe I can also share the insight with mompreneurs because we have a mompreneur community too. The challenge with mompreneurs is that competition is super stiff because
yes, yun nga eh. Parang
because
dami.
everyone's online, big and small are on the same page. So it's like an equalizer. Everything's an equal. It's an level playing field. Whether you're a big player or a small player, it's just the variety and the price points. It's like all competitive. So
May
yeah.
question ako dyan. Is it really just more of a price point or is it a consideration yung if it's a local supplier? Kasi when you go to all the online portals, you have the Chinese suppliers already, di ba?
Yeah.
They're competing in price. Sometimes they're really cheap even with the delivery. Is that a consideration for moms or it's really more of pricing?
In our survey, it came out that they are still quality conscious, but it depends on the category. Like if it's skincare for babies, diapers, super quality conscious. But with regular stuff, they kind of bargain hunt. So
Galing ah. Ang dami mong
I have data in my brain.
dami mong data.
Mas sobrang interesting yung into the mom mind. So they have to tune into Mommy Mundo because we'll reveal data about themselves until
Yes.
December.
Yes. Okay.
Well,
Alright,
I feel like a reporter. 85%. Then, do you want to share your own? I'm sure you have some.
Christine. Yeah.
I think people underestimate the power of having packages at your door. I think that's one of the joys of online shopping. Like I know my friends are like they're really anticipating na there's a package arriving. Ganyan. So sabi nga iba, it feels like Christmas every day, even if you bought it, but there's a package arriving at your door. That's part of the fun, I think, of online shopping.
True. That's true.
Yeah. And the unboxing,
gifts.
The unboxing of the package. All right. Yeah. Shopping is a big thing for moms. And and it's considered me time ba?
Yeah.
It is considered me time, yes.
It's considered me time. Okay.
So you should let Rach shop.
So ilang hours ang me time ba dapat ng mga moms?
Oh, you know what? I think they re-shop at night. Then I don't know, I'm sure you've noticed that also. Like when the kids are asleep, like even the mompreneurs, they tell me that at night, that's when the moms have DMs about inquiries. I think we're guilty rin, no?
So at night, okay.
Yeah.
Pero what do you think, before we leave the shopping now, before we go to Christine on the what do you think about the live shopping? Kasi like Rach would watch it sometimes for points, but sometimes there are interesting live shopping. Are moms interested in the live shopping things?
I'm not sure about the live shopping, but they are, I guess, with the items that are price based, like they're conscious about price, they're going to look for a bargain, so they'll go on that. In
Okay.
the in Expo, Mom will have talks about how to get the best deals. Oh no, that's against things. Medyo may
Okay, okay.
contradiction.
Against.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay
sige.
lang. If you need it, then you can buy it.
Yeah.
Okay. Christine, maybe let's go to your first trend. What's happening with the moms in terms of consciousness, being mindful this
So when I
2020?
was starting with KonMari, only a few people got it. Because people were like, parang I need everything. I need my things. But I think because of, what happened with the pandemic, parang people now are conscious of the clutter that piles up in their homes. And they realize, with Zoom and everything, you have to have a nice background, or at least your home looks clean and clutter free. So there's that consciousness now about decluttering, making the home pretty and stuff like that. So I'm glad people now have this awareness that they shouldn't be living with clutter.
Yes. Now, may question ako dyan. So the trend is more, the moms are more conscious about what they buy or stuff in their homes. Ganun ba?
I would say they're more conscious of what they bring into the home,
Okay.
because I realize that a lot of people are messaging me now and they say I shopped so much online and I have a tambak of stuff by my door. I have unopened packages. So parang now they're realizing this can't be. I can't live like this anymore. So there's this awareness of keeping their space tidy so that they don't get stressed. And then there's this awareness also of what am I bringing into the home now. So there's that thoughtfulness about consumption and really making sure that am I bringing in kala to the house, or is this what I really need. So then there's that guilt of am I buying too much food, but I don't want to go out all the time. So I'm like, don't worry about the food. If food is something you need, diba, in the house, then don't beat yourself up about it because you're doing it for your own family safety. You don't want to keep on going out exposing yourself. So don't
Yes.
don't feel bad if you're buying more than the usual amount of food. So there's that parang conflict na of am I buying too much or am I adding to the clutter? Parang there's that tension na.
Okay. May question ako. And we've been struggling with this. Yun nga, and you're the perfect person to ask this. Kasi nga, when you buy more stuff, di ba, you have a lot of packaging. And the
Yes.
thing is, most moms would keep it at home and wouldn't, di ba, for 1 year or so, how many months, there'll be a pile of, plastics, packaging, etc. But of course, the single-use plastics, you cannot just throw because you want to
Yeah.
reuse, no? But if you have everyday delivery, syempre it piles up, no? Any suggestion or recommendation? How do you marry, being environmentally conscious and, having a sparking joy, in terms of your household?
So the great thing now about villages and communities is they have Viber groups. So there's like me personally, I belong to the San Juan Community Viber group. Then there's the Buhay Zero Waste group. And the great thing is in your own community there are sellers, and there will be like whoever wants to donate their bubble wrap or boxes. I'm happy to take them because I need it for my kids. So, there's this community now where you can really make sure it goes to somebody who will use it and make productive use of it. It's not gonna add to the landfill.
Nice
That's
answer.
nice.
So you have to give it to someone who can use it.
Yeah,
Okay, correct.
yeah,
That's a good idea.
Oo,
yeah.
that's a good idea. I've been struggling with it eh. Kasi sabi ko, sobrang ang daming bubble wrap, di ba? Anong gagawin mo sa bubble wrap
Yeah.
sa bahay? Okay, we have Vin Samson was commenting about single daddies or single fathers' mindful choices. Pero next time na yun. We're talking about moms here.
Well,
I guess.
Anton, in Expo, Mom, we will have a daddy talk.
Oh, wow.
Daddy Mundo.
Yes.
It's Aaron
Daddy
Ocampo and
Mundo.
Iñaki.
Yes.
They'll talk about daddy's choice. So maybe our viewer can tune in on Sunday.
Oo, si Vince to sa Balikbayan.
Yes.
Balikbayan magazine actually.
Yeah.
So they write about things stuff. All right, thanks
I have
Vince
a question for Tin.
Yes,
Okay.
go.
Tin, what about how did you experience like clients or friends calling you about what to do with clothes and shoes? Like, diba we're all like, oh, we don't need pala all these clothes and shoes. Like, I have a friend, in around May or June, she actually packed up all her office clothes and shoes. And I was like, "You pack it up na?" And then now I tell her that was such a wise move because it's been a year and a half. So did you have any experience with people who had
Yes,
questions about
yes.
that?
So a lot of people have packed away their travel clothes, their coats, their
Yeah.
sweaters, kasi parang where else will you wear them, diba? So I have friends who did that, like packed away all their and or given away. Like I was in a talk now
Mm.
with some students, and Chit Juan of Echo Star was there, and she said they're supporting farmers in Baguio, in Benguet, in the
Oh.
and she gave away her yung mga jackets because she was saying I have
Ah.
no use for it here and there. They need it. So I think it's beautiful, people realize
Yeah.
what I have now I don't use, but somebody out there will find use for it and will value it and it will serve them and help them. So I think it's beautiful that people are realizing, rather than having stuff here, send it out to someone who will use it.
Yeah, true. That's so interesting.
Yeah, okay. And ano ba, the KonMari method or philosophy is to
Mhm.
give it away instead of like sell it, parang ganun.
Actually, the point there is you keep only what sparks joy for you or what serves you. And then it's not so much about letting go of things, but that's part of it. But she says if you're going to give away stuff, make sure you give it to someone who uses it. Not like you tell your sister, o sa'yo na lang to, bahala ka na dyan. Parang you're actually
Ah,
dumping your stuff and making it the responsibility of someone else. So have that mindfulness also to make sure that it goes to someone who really loves it and would have bought it anyway and will really use it rather than, o sa'yo na to, or I'm gonna loan this stack of books to you, tapos balik mo na lang sa akin. Parang you're not really letting go that way. But if you're giving it, that mindfulness na I'll give these books to a library or to kids who are, in a far-flung province and they don't have enough books, then at least you're making sure it goes to people who will really benefit from it.
nice. Okay. I'm learning something. Pang ano, yung sparking, the KonMari method is for moms lang ba yan or for girls?
No, it's for everyone, even dads. It's
Even
for
dads will
everyone,
do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
even
And
single.
you do regular sessions in Manila or paano ba yan? How does it work?
Normally, well, pre-pandemic, I would go to homes, but now a lot of my work is doing online talks for companies because they
Okay.
realize that their employees need to be in a conducive work environment, even if they're
Environment.
at home. So they understand that clutter has links to productivity, to stress, and lack of focus, decision making. So they now understand that for my employees or my staff to be productive, they need to work in a home that sparks joy for them. So I like it kasi talagang now people are, I do talk sometimes 400 employees log in, and it's so
Wow.
nice because you're really spreading the message of spark joy to everyone.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Cool.
good.
But
So,
then you don't do anymore the one like the cluttering. You can't do it on Zoom. Sorry.
I can do it. I can do it naman, yeah. But I think people are saying, "Oh, sige, when you're available na lang to do it," because they want to do it, with me there. I think it's good for
they want it ano, it cannot work
hands-on
na
for
online.
them.
Oo.
But I don't do it pa. I'm not ready also to venture out because I'm not yet vaccinated. I'm waiting.
Yeah, true.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Next trend. Back to Janice.
Yeah.
What
Oh,
else this
the next
2020?
the trend that we also experienced was the shift to online learning. I think that was
Okay.
a major change in all our lives, that our kids are suddenly at home and that we had to set up. Otin also had that nice setup of her study area. We can ask her about that because even her study area was spark joy in her for her kids. But at
Okay.
the time because remember when the pandemic happened, it was in the middle of the school year, ending of last school
Yeah.
year. So even schools were caught off guard. But now then the schools were able to plan out better for the school year 2020 to 2021. And moms were able to plan better and prepare their kids better and prepare their homes better. So the trends were first setting up their study areas, and then also choosing a school. Like I had some talks with educators in the past weeks, and they were saying that parents are now thinking about before kasi the choice was traditional or progressive. Now the choices are traditional, progressive, homeschooling, that is with the homeschooling org, or homeschooling DIY. So now the moms and dads are actually open to other forms of schooling because nga it's already online. So it's really interesting.
Yeah. Oh nga, the homeschooling actually boomed, no? Throughout this
Yes.
pandemic and even during this time.
Yeah. And I
Uh,
also found out that those who chose homeschooling, because pre-pandemic, those who chose homeschooling chose it because first of value formation, like they wanted to manage the exposure of their child.
yes.
If that's what I believe, no, and also economics. But now
Mhm.
parents are choosing homeschooling. An additional factor is that they don't want the kids to be always on Zoom. So
Mm.
that's another concern, the technology factor.
Okay.
So the moms and dads, it's easier for some to have adjusted, but others really had a hard time, especially with internet connection. Like I have a
Mhm.
friend, she has 6 kids, so she has three internet, she has three accounts.
Talaga?
Mm-mm. Kasi siya din, she's online and her husband's working online. So I was like, oh
Oo.
nga, 3 accounts. And then imagine
3
all the
account.
gadgets.
Oo.
Naku, Anton, baka ikaw din pala.
No, kami ano, isa lang, Converge. Pero it's a fast internet.
Converge, yeah. There.
Umabot na ng Laguna. So actually, I
Hmm,
wanted to add to your discussion on the trend. Kasi
yeah.
what we noticed covering the food and travel space, no, especially in Manila, is that families are relocating, work from anywhere, study
Yes.
from anywhere. So we had a friend, si Sunny De Leon of Poco Delhi. They moved to Coron, no?
Oh,
Kasi
wow.
because they have a business in Coron and then the kids are studying in Ateneo. They now all based in Coron. Kasi in Coron, nagkaroon ng mga fiber na yung Coron during throughout the pandemic. And then there are some families naman who are moving actually to Boracay, no?
Yes,
And parang stay in Boracay kasi nga you
yes,
can work from anywhere but also you can study from anywhere. So
yes.
I'm seeing more and more people kind of like doing this type of just do it
That's
anywhere. I
true.
think for small families that works, I guess,
Yeah.
or I don't know with bigger like kami we have 4 kids. I'm not sure if that would work for us, but yeah, I think more and more people are doing that, and even they're planning. For example, no, they're the planning cycle now. I know we're still in lockdown. You know, you have this vaccination pa and stuff, but people are planning to travel longer on a certain
Mm.
destination and stay there because you can
Ah,
you're enrolled
yes.
naman online, 'di ba? And then you can travel. Parang ganun. That's kind of what's happening
Mhm.
also. And that's really good that you pointed out this online learning thing is really an important thing. Do you think this will continue moving on, Janice? What are you seeing there in North America? Kasi you guys have like, higher vaccination rates.
Here, it's in Canada, it's province by province. So like some provinces are more strict than others. So like my daughter, she was in school, live face-to-face school,
Okay.
all the way until Feb when we had the third wave. So then the school shut down and it won't go back anymore. But here it's very difficult because the parents don't have helpers. So the working parents are the one to leave
Ah,
these kids with. So that's why in bigger cities like BC and Calgary and Toronto, they can't just say online school na lang because they have to have provide childcare to the
wow.
working parents. So it's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
like it. International ang discussion
international.
natin. Hindi na Pilipino.
Oo nga.
Okay. Now that's interesting point.
Yeah.
And sometimes we forget to be thankful about our situation here in the Philippines. May mga katulong, di ba? I mean, we can at
True.
least help manage it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's very good,
Anton
Janice.
has
Next.
asked in about her study room. The study room.
Oh,
Kasi that was a
can
popular
you
post in her
can you
IG.
show us your study room or
Uh,
hindi? Or
it
can you
was
just describe it?
it was actually inspired by Reply 1988.
By
Kasi
what? By what?
Reply 1988, where they have these study cubicles na the kids cannot see each other while they're studying. So there's
Okay.
no distraction. And well, my husband kasi studied abroad. So that was like the look of the desks in their library. Na it's like a little compartmentalized study table, but it has corners on the side. Yeah, you can study without getting distracted by the other person. And all three kids kasi are in the same room, diba? So that's what we
Ah,
did. And it helped, it worked. Kasi we never had to, change our setup because from the get-go, maayos na.
and where's your nasa ano mo pa yan? Nasa Christine Dychiao na
It's in
na
my Instagram. Wait, let me look.
Instagram. Tingnan natin what's your Instagram? Christine Y. Cha.
Dychiao.
Christine
Christine
Dychiao.
I
Yeah.
think it was around July of last year or June of last
Yeah.
year.
Last year. Oh, sige,
And
sige.
what about the chairs? Is it important? The chairs, the lighting,
Yes,
all
lighting
that?
is important kasi if it's too dark, the kids might get sleepy. I remember si Rebel Yoga Mama, she had sound, a
Yeah.
sound like
Yung
a
kid.
board.
Her
Oo.
husband kasi is an acoustic designer.
Yeah,
So,
so,
so they had
hers was,
soundboard. That makes
very
sense though, no? That makes a lot of sense also.
So the parents talaga, they really, prepared for it. And siya yung pinaka-alam kong talagang meron pa siyang, those cork boards ba yun on top just to make sure that the sound doesn't escape the room. Ang galing. So,
ito,
parents have been
Oh,
very...
ito ba yan? Is this
Yes,
it?
yes.
So you created this. You created a cubicle for each of the kids.
Yes. We had it made by my cousin kasi he dabbles in furniture making. So I said, can you design this for us? So Harps gave the dimensions of, the table in their library in school and said, we need to make it a bit kid-sized, but enough for them to grow into. So yeah, so even if post-pandemic, they can still use it as a study table.
Okay.
True.
Now, since we're in this topic, before we go to Christine for her next trend, no, what are your rules on gaming for the kids? Vis-a-vis learning also, or well, ngayon kasi summer, di ba? Parang how do you treat gaming schedules for your kids? Since we're talking about home na rin and setups.
Yeah.
So I have two young boys, and they're super into gaming. So I give them 1 hour before lunch and then 1 hour after lunch. So bahala na sila if they want to do it sa evening or right after. But usually, if example, my son has a Zoom play date, ganyan na sila ngayon naglaro. Then he has to, wait for his friend to log on, and that's when he can use his hour. So we try to manage it kasi if you let them do it, they can do it the whole day. They can play games the whole day, and you don't want that, diba? Kasi nagiging, sabi nga nila, diba, parang gadgets are like cocaine for a kid's brain. Kasi they wouldn't know when to stop. So we had to set rules, and they have a sign-in sheet, like what time did you log on, and what time did you log
So
off.
That's good.
separate na setup rin yan. Separate yung gaming station from where they study.
So they have their gadgets, their phones, or their Nintendo Switch.
In their mobile. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Ikaw, Janice. Yan, tanungin natin si Janice.
Well, my boys kasi are adults na. So
gamers na talaga sila.
I'm really careful not to be make them mama's boys. So I'm like, you guys are, I mean, it's like just manage your time and their studies, make sure, it's already like that. But when they were kids, when they were maybe teens, boys ages, they actually were not allowed to do gadgets kasi they were in traditional schools. It was really demanding. Like homework alone was a big load. So they were really not allowed to use it during the school day, during the weekdays, only weekends.
Okay.
But then times have changed. That was like 15 years ago, 10 years ago. So it's totally different now. And I'm not sure if I could have done the same thing. And at a certain point, you also have to adjust a bit, maybe like how Tin is doing it, because they also talk to their classmates online. Like
Mm-hmm.
even the homework is done
Yeah.
online and everything on Facebook and Messenger and stuff. And then they even have Discord now, diba?
Uh-huh.
Discord. Are your kids on Discord? Like all the kids are on Discord. That's what I heard.
Yeah, we kasi
Yeah.
because our business is on Discord, we created a family server then. Kasi doon kami sila
Wow.
they don't respond in Messenger or Instagram eh. So we do Discord
Wow.
messaging around the house.
I cannot join Discord. I'm not allowed ata. I
Oo
asked
nga.
and they made faces. Can I join Discord? Okay, but
Hindi, pero the only reason we got allowed kasi we had our own server for Awesome 10X.
that's
So parang and then they were asking, "Wow, what's that global investing na Discord server?" So that's why naintindihan nila na we had to create it. And then sinama na lang namin yung family server. But if we were to do it just a family server, siguro they won't allow me also.
that's right.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, yung panganay namin,
Yeah.
si Aya, actually, meron siyang dalawang Discord ID. Yung isa yung totoo niya, and yung isa yung mga pang kung sino-sino lang. So nung una, doon lang kami nilagay doon sa kung sino-sino lang. Sabi ko, hindi pwede yan. Doon kami sa primary Discord accounts. No? Anyway, yeah, this whole Discord thing is really
Yeah.
for
It's
for everybody.
baka some parents don't know about Discord yet. So now we reveal.
Yes. Okay, wait. Let's move on. Let's go to
Yes.
Christine. Christine, what's a second trend that you're seeing that moms are doing or will be doing this 2021?
So I'm seeing a lot of interest in interior design and home decoration and sprucing up the home because yun nga, parang after what happened, diba? And people realize, hey, I need to, make my home a sanctuary. So more than just decluttering, they make it pretty, they make it beautiful. So that's why there's the explosion of, like home bodies that group on Facebook. Parang people really want to make their homes beautiful.
Yeah.
True.
And pag ganyan, usually what's the thinking on how you can make it beautiful? Ano ba?
Minimalist or
yeah, in terms of KonMari, kailangan
Wow.
minimalist ba yan or
That's a good
depende sa
question.
gusto?
Yeah.
Okay. So with KonMari kasi it's not so much about minimalism. It's really about creating a home that sparks joy for you. So what sparks joy for me can be different from what sparks joy for Janice and what sparks joy for you, Anton. So we can have different looking homes, but they all spark joy. So at the end of the day, lahat tayo masaya. So
for example, in your case, can you give an example? What sparks joy in your interior?
So me kasi I like anything cozy and pretty. So I invest in nice throw pillows and stuff like that. But for some people, they don't like pillows. Parang for them, it takes up so much space. Wala akong maupuan. So they want it minimalist. So it doesn't matter. Basta at the end of the day, you choose what sparks joy for you. So it's not about minimalism. It's more about creating a space that you love, na you feel at home in.
Okay. And follow up lang to that, no? Is there a particular in terms of the KonMari thinking, in terms of price? Kasi for example, we had these chefs na kilala namin na niloloko nila because for him, he would invest on the best sofa, no? Just the sofa, yung talagang masarap upuan and it's expensive, but all the rest wala, mura lang, no?
Yeah.
But I guess that sparks joy for that chef, no? And niloloko nga nila na that chef has the best sofa. So my question is related to pricing. Does KonMari have advice on pricing or basta as long as it sparks joy kahit magkano yan kamahal, okay lang?
So it takes into account a person's budget and lifestyle. So for some people, they want to splurge. So like that chef, I mean, that sparks joy for him. So good for him. I'm happy for him. For some person naman, they would spend on a fancy espresso machine. And kahit yung table and chairs nila, di ba, made wherever
Oo.
lang. So it really depends on a person's what makes them happy, what serves them. Na pag nagising sila, they're super excited to make coffee, or they're super excited to come home and lie down on their couch after a long day. So it's really not so much about the budget, but how much are you willing to pay for it? It doesn't matter if, I've worked with a tricycle driver. I've worked with a family who is you have a big conglomerate. So it's for anyone, really. It's for anyone who wants to make their space spark joy.
Nice. Janice, may question ka? Yes.
Yeah, I want to say, kasi now lang I'm hearing Tin. I always listen to her, but I guess what sparked in my mind when you were talking was that how interesting that if you ask me, for example, what will make you feel joyful, or what sparks joy in you, that some people it's not as easy to say. Like if you say that for some it's like, oh, I want a really fancy espresso machine, but for me, what is it kaya? So I wonder, but I'm starting to think what will make me really like happy to get out of bed and go to my kitchen or things like that. Is that something that's normal? Like for some people, they don't even know what sparks joy.
It's very normal because we've all lived such busy lives before the pandemic. It's like we're one task to another, and nobody really sits down and asks themselves, what sparks joy for me? So for a lot of people, spark joy is such a nebulous concept. Parang ano yun? What does that mean? So parang in that process of decluttering, you're actually connecting to yourself and realizing, oh, I like pala things that are, made of natural materials. Or that's the process that you go through when you're decluttering. And that's how you discover what sparks joy for you. Kasi minsan we're like, uy, ang ganda nung nakita ko sa Instagram, baka that will spark joy for me. But then when it gets to you, parang, ay, hindi pala bagay. So parang, actually, it's really that mindfulness. It's really a mindful process. Yeah, na you're trying to understand yourself. What makes me happy? What serves me in my life right now? It's a process. It's not gonna instantly what sparks joy for you. You hone that ability to decipher what sparks joy.
Yeah, and I think that's what differentiates your process with just plain decluttering or plain organizing.
Correct.
It's really like a revamp or like an earthing of your own self, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting too.
Something nila, it's like meditation through the medium of your belongings.
Wow. Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah. It's so spiritual, actually. It's really a spiritual, psychological, emotional process that you can't get from like the neat method. You buy bins, arrange it by color, that's it. It's not like that. It's really like going deep, going inward, and asking yourself, what makes me happy? Diba? Ang ganda.
So I think then conscious consumption follows naturally in a way after you've done that.
Correct.
So you don't want to clutter already your joyful space, no?
Yes. Super. It's linked. I think it's that process. You live in clutter, you're stressed, and then you tidy and you realize, oh, this is what makes me happy. And then you want to maintain it na. You don't want to add any more clutter to your life.
Right.
But is there before we go to Janice, no, just a question lang. Kasi there's sometimes I see some people who likes clutter in their workspace. Is there such a thing that the clutter sparks you joy? Or alam mo yun, yung parang nilagay mo to dito, you want to make sure na it's always still there lang, and then you want to see everything all at once.
All the paperwork.
Oo, parang ganyan. Is there such a thing, or parang if clutter sparks you joy, di okay lang ba yun?
Actually, it's so funny because when I started, I was proud of my clutter. I'm like, no, I need that. I understand where everything is, ganyan. But in reality, I think I was just, trying to rationalize why I had clutter. But when I learned how to fix it, I realized I don't want to live in clutter. I don't want to live with clutter. So for some people, it's that knee-jerk reaction na don't touch my things. I know where everything is. I like it that way. But I think it's a, I guess, defense mechanism na no, it's okay like this. But in reality, you're stressed. You're overbooking. You're over. You're doing more than you should because you cannot manage your life. But sabi nga nila, a cluttered desk is a sign of a cluttered mind. And but you can't force people din kasi. If they like it that way, until they say, I'm ready to deal with this, then that's the best time for them. We can't say, hey, fix this. Like your kids, if makalat yung desk nila, you can't force them because it has to be coming from them that they want to fix it. So it's really a process for everyone. Each
Yeah.
person has their own timeline, their own process, and we have to respect.
Ang galing ah. Galing ni Christine Janice. Ah.
Yeah, I know. When you talk to her nga, parang you want to fix your whole house, di ba?
Oo nga, oo nga. Anyway, let's go to your last
Last-
trend. So, let's go to
last
Janice
trend.
first.
Yeah, the last trend is a shift to wellness. So it's shift to fitness. We notice all the workout online and all that. The shift to health, of course, because we're concerned about keeping our immune systems up and choosing our food wisely. And like Anton lost so much weight in the pandemic while everyone's gaining weight, he lost the weight. And also self-improvement, diba? Everyone's taking courses. So it's really in general wellness. So like a friend of mine nga commented na, because she was also a very busy mom, always in meetings, businesswoman. And she was saying she's now home all the time and cooking her own meals. And then she says, I just realized how much junk I was feeding my family because she delegated the cooking to the helpers. So I guess a lot of moms now. And then I heard that like the food companies, like the condiments, the cooking ingredients, their
Yes,
sales like shot up during the pandemic. You might have some trends there because everyone's starting to cook again.
Oo.
So it's nice.
Pero in terms of of course, a lot of people are going into healthy and fitness. Was there a specific thing that's happening with the moms ba on how they shifted their thinking?
I
Parang-
think it
yeah.
really came naturally because, well, first, because of the pandemic, the virus, na, di ba, the messaging was the best way to protect yourself is through to keep your immune system up. So that was really a concern. Like people wanted to lose weight. And then the second thing is that because we had more time, like before we would be going all over the place doing our errands and working at the same time and meeting people. And now we're just home. We had more time. And then suddenly we know na what's in our cupboards, di ba? Parang you're like, oh, ang dami ko palang hindi nagagamit na ingredients because normally you don't, I mean, it's delegated. So I think it's really that more time and also just consciousness about health. Yeah.
Just wanted to add lang also to the discussion. Again, I'm coming here on a travel perspective also, no, food travel perspective, because what we learned, siguro before the pandemic, the travel industry is dominated by, who do you think? Is it the baby boomers, the Gen X, the millennials, or the Gen Z? What do you think?
Millennials.
Gen X.
No, actually, before the pandemic, it was
Okay.
the baby boomers.
Oh,
It was the baby
really?
boomers because they were, all the travel agency
Mhm.
are benefiting from baby boomers checking off their bucket list. They travel, grabe yung travel ng mga baby boomers, no? Kasi they wanted to go to their places that they wanted to go to. There's no pricing involved, no? Although millennials has more travel, but their travel kasi budget travel technically. They want to just hop on from one Instagram place to another. So what's happening actually in after the pandemic is a time for the Gen X. It's the Gen X who's
Yeah.
actually kind of rule that travel space, no? because for one, all the money that the Gen X have for experiences during the pandemic are saved, no, and it will be saved for a few more years. And at the same time, the reason Gen X kasi are grounded technically, they can only travel during summer and December, is that they have younger kids. So the kids are now growing up,
Mm, yeah.
and that's why they're able to travel more. And the reason I mentioned this related to the health kasi is that they saw the Gen X saw their parents, their the grandparents na in a pandemic, if you're not healthy, wala, they're grounded, di ba? What will happen to
Yeah.
them? Will they still travel, etc.? So parang there was this shift in mindset aside from the what you mentioned about time and etc., that hey, we're in the mid 40s or mid 50s. We want to be still traveling or active at 60, even with
Mm,
the pandemic. Alam mo yun?
true.
So that's actually
That's true.
driving. And then the Gen X wanted to travel really, whether there's pandemic or not. Although they were
Yeah.
saying in the travel industry that the baby boomers would YOLO their travel. Meaning, kahit may pandemic yan. Kasi anyway, mamamatay na rin naman kami. We wanted to travel and go out. Anyway, so just wanted to add on like a motivation for the Gen X to stay healthy.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
Yon.
Mhm.
And sa time of the so after the pandemic, it's actually the time of the Gen X and the Gen Z. Kasi the millennials naman, sila yung lahat nagpakasal ngayon. Di ba?
So,
And actually, that's your market now for Mommy Mundo.
yeah, they are the millennial moms are
But
my,
they're grounded naman. So,
yes,
kasi
that's
they
true.
have young kids. Okay, that's very good. So, we'll go to Christine. Your last
Yeah.
trend, Christine.
Okay, I think ito, what I notice is people are into plants and farming. They now parang want to have their own farm, or they understand that we have to
True.
support the farmers. We have to buy their produce because we need to support them to be able to make sure we all don't go hungry. So I think that's another beautiful effect, people going back to nature and valuing, nature, and even creating nature in their own small spaces, even if they live in a condo. They will grow tomatoes or, a pet chai from their windows.
Yes.
True.
Okay nga yan. And actually, most of the restaurants, so recently most of the restaurants are establishing in Tagaytay, no? Mga
Mhm.
alfresco. So recently, the Raintree Group, who has not been opening in Tagaytay, they opened a Tagaytay restaurant recently in partnership with Nature
Ah,
Wellness. So parang they wanted to integrate the restaurant in nature. And I think more and more, a lot of people are doing that. Syempre, obviously, ang setup ko rin ngayon puro plants. So,
yes.
to give in our office space, no. But siguro one of the things na I wanted to ask Janice, okay, kasi related to plants, we invest a lot on cannabis companies, which are
Mhm.
predominant in Canada, and of course you cannot bring it here, but
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on cannabis? Kasi
Yeah,
the whole plant industry in North America is pushed also by cannabis. Eh.
that's right. I believe in the medical properties of cannabis, like the CBD oils and all. So I wish that would be legalized in the Philippines because of the. I mean, it really helps with aches and pains, even Alzheimer's, even special needs kids, like the even mental health. It helps with that. I've tried CBD creams here and CBD oils, and even ingested the oils for sleep and things like that, and it's been really very helpful.
Very effective. What
Yeah,
I wanted to do is actually in my workspace. Gusto ko pag nagbablog ako or doing some content is my CBD oil that that goes around the room.
mhm. The
Um,
diffused oils.
parang diffuse, 'di ba? Parang
Yeah,
to
yeah,
spark creativity. Have you tried
yeah.
those
Yeah,
products?
it comes in different variants. So there's like energy, sleep, ganyan. So, iba-iba.
Okay.
Magkaka-Mommy Mundo CBD. No, just kidding. Product extension. Mommy Mundo CBD.
Okay. And yon, thank you. Probably I wanted to add my own just one trend that I see, no. Which is um
Wait, there.
sorry. wanted and the reason we're actually more attuned to a lot of the innovations happening in the
Yeah.
industry. We set up this awesome 10x global investing during the pandemic. It's global stock investing in the next innovation, not only cannabis but electric vehicles, evtols or lidars, etc. And you know what, a big part of our group who joined our awesome 10x are moms. And there's actually a lot of data already that shows, not only in the Philippines, but also in the
Mhm.
US, that a big part of the new investors, retail investors in the stock market are Gen X. And in a family, or at least in our specific group no that we have, it's the moms kasi the dads are usually the one working, and then the moms are, they have this save nga for experiences, and they wanted to multiply that. And typically when you multiply your money, it takes 10 years to 10x your existing money, and now's the parang the cycle of the next 10x. And I think because of this retail investing phenomenon in the US, Wall Street Bets and Reddit, and we have Awesome 10X here in the Philippines. A lot of the Gen X are investing their own money, not anymore in mutual funds, or you have a lot of insurance product, but directly investing on companies, because you're able to do that. We do that using
Yeah.
interactive brokers, and then we learn all these new innovations happening. And ang galing, yung mga moms yung nag-i-invest. Kasi for
Yeah.
long-term investing, para pagdating ng 60, by the time na nag-senior citizen na sila, I mean, that's parang you build up your wealth at least when the time comes. So,
That's interesting too. Yeah, I
uh,
think a lot of moms handle nga the budgets, the
oo,
budgets of the family. Yeah.
yes. Yon. All right. So, thank you so much. Maybe just some final
Yeah.
thoughts, Christine and Janice. Let's start with Christine.
Okay, thanks for having us, Anton. And yeah, we'll talk more about mindfulness on Saturday and Sunday. So we hope to see you there at Mommy Mundo's Mindful Choices series of talks.
All right. And Janice?
Yeah, thanks, Tin, and thanks, Anton, also for having us. So join us this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. We start at 9:30 and we end at 4:30. We have talks all day. You can just open your laptops and put it on Mommy Mundo Facebook Live. And just leave it on, like even if your kids are asleep while you're doing the chores. Just leave it on and listen in because you have a lot of things to learn from Tin and all our other speakers. Plus, we also got confirmation that Vice President Robredo will be doing our opening. So I think she's also epitome of a mindful mom, and she's going to talk about how making mindful choices affect the future of our families and our nation too. So watch out for that. It will be around 9:30 to 10 start off, and then we go to Tin Stock on Saturday.
All right. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much. Thank you so much. And thank you to for those watching on the replay and watching on the live stream. Thank you. Thank you, Christine. Thank you,
Thank
Janice.
Thank you,
you.
Anton.
Thank you. Bye-bye.